Today we're going to learn how to multiply a proper fraction and a whole number, as well as multiply an improper fraction and a whole number. Some of the keywords in mathematical language that you will need to use and remember when explaining this concept would be fractions, set. The word of means multiply, as well as equal groups. First, let's look at this question over here. Mary has 12 sweets. 3/4 of the sweets are red. How many red sweets does Mary have? Okay, so first off, let's look at this part over here. 3/4 of 12. What does it mean? This 12 over here refers to the total number of items in a set. So in this question, it means that the total number of sweets Mary has is 12. The denominator over here refers to the total number of equal groups that we want to group all the items into. So we want to group the 12 sweets into 4 equal groups, like this. And finally, the numerator refers to the number of groups in that category. So in this question, we are talking about the red sweets. So the category that we want to focus on is the red sweets. So since the question says 3/4 of 12, it means there are 3 groups out of 4 that are in that category of red sweets. So 3 out of 4. Okay, this is just to explain what the question is talking about, but we don't always have a diagram or a picture to help us. So in terms of an equation, so 3/4 of 12, like I mentioned earlier, this word of here means multiply. So it means 3/4 multiplied by 12. Okay, now we can also write this as 3/4 multiplied by 12 over 1, because 12 over 1 is the same as 12. Okay, so what we're going to use next is called the cancellation method, which some of you already know, but some of you might not. So what I want to explain first is what the cancellation method means. So the two numbers that we're going to look at now is 12 and 4. Okay, when we're using the cancellation method, we are trying to put the 12 sweets, okay, into the equal groups of 4. Okay, so when I'm dividing this 12 sweets into groups of 4, it would give me 3 sweets per group. So I'm gonna go ahead and divide both by 4. So 12 divided by 4 would give me 3, and 4 divided by 4 would give me 1. Okay, so again, we are trying to see how many groups of 4 that we have. So let's look at it in terms of an equation. 3/4 of 12. So just now I mentioned that the word of means multiply. So we can rewrite it as 3/4 multiplied by 12. But we also know that 12 can be written as 12 over 1. It's equivalent. What we're going to use next is called the cancellation method. Okay, some of you might already know it, but some might not. So I'm first going to explain what the cancellation method actually means. Okay, so we're going to look at two numbers first, 12 and 4. What we're trying to do is we're trying to find, okay, so since we want to put the 12 sweets into 4 equal groups, we want to know how many sweets there are in each group. So I'm going to divide 12 by 4 and 4 by 4. So in other words, we are trying to say that 12 divided by 4, we get 3, and 4 divided by 4, I get 1. So it means there are 3 sweets in each of the 4 equal groups. So now we have 3 over 1 multiplied by 3 over 1, which would give us 9. So Mary has 9 red sweets. Okay, this is from your primary 4 fractions topic. Okay, so fractions of a set. 2/3 of 150. Okay, again, this is the total number of equal groups that we have. So 1, 2, 3. This is the 150 refers to the total number of items in the set, and it's altogether there are 150 items. So we're gonna label this model. So 3 units or 3 groups represents 150. Okay, so we want to find one group. So 1 unit would be 150 divided by 3. So we get 50. So in other words, this is 50, 50, and 50. Okay, but we want to find 2 of these groups. Okay, so the number of groups in that category that we are talking about. So in other words, we'll multiply the 50 by 2 to get 100. Now, we're going to use the same question, but we will use the cancellation method instead of the unitary method. Okay, again, 2/3 of 150 just means 2/3 times 150 or multiplied by 150. And again, I'm going to put this in a form of 150 over 1. Okay, just to make it clearer. Now, again, we are trying to find that if we're going to put 150 into 3 equal groups, how many items are there going to be in each group? So we're going to divide both by 3. So this will be 50 and this will be 1. So 2 over 1 multiplied by 50 over 1 would give us 100. So you will see that the answers, whether you use the unitary method or the cancellation method, would give you the same answer. Now let's look at multiplying an improper fraction and a whole number. We're going to use the same concepts, just that now it's an improper fraction. So 3 over 2 multiplied by 4 is the same as 3 over 2 multiplied by 4 over 1. Okay, so the 4 items, we want to put them into 2 equal groups. So we want to know how many items there will be in the 2 groups. So I divide both by 2, and I'll get 2 over here, and I'll get 1 over here. So 3 over 1 multiplied by 2 over 1 would give me 6. Or you can also do this as numerator multiplied by numerator, and then denominator multiplied by denominator to give me 12. Okay, so 3 multiplied by 4 will give me 12, and 2 multiplied by 1 will give me 2. So 12 divided by 2 will give me 6. Both methods are alright. Okay, just that sometimes when the numerators get bigger, both the numerator and denominator can have large numbers, and it gets complicated then. And that is it. In your expert groups, work out the questions in your worksheet, and when the time is up, your teachers will ask you to return to your home groups.